How's everybody doing? We're going to look at a Blackbird strategy just to reach a time frame. So we're going to use a 15-minute opening range time frame. So I will put the JATS PT3 indicator on the chart and show you by selecting, oops, uncheck the fibs and go to the use higher time ranges. We want to do 15 minutes, so that would be 8:30 to 8:45 opening range. And so this gives me a distribution at the beginning of the trade session at 8:30. And so here was the open, and you can see it went to the 1, the 2, and the 3. So that's all I'm trying to reach is that 1, 2, 3. And this is just giving you an idea of how to trade to these levels. If you would like a 30-minute range, you would make it 8:30 to 9. If you would like a 1 hour range, 8:30 to 9:30. So I'm going to get this one off the chart. That was the daily, so it's not confusing. Okay, so there's your 8:30 to 8:45 time range. What we would like to do then is put Blackbird on the chart. We don't need a Bloodhound template for this. We can do all of this in Blackbird. So I'm going to hit back test. And then the only other thing that you need to do is this bars required to trade. So since it's an opening range strategy, you might give it 1 hour to complete the cycle, so 61 minutes. And what I do is I take 60 and then I multiply it by 14 sessions. So I want 840 bars required to trade. And that means that the logic will be looking backwards 840 bars. And these are minute bars. So that's, just in 14 sessions. So make sure you have enough days of data. I always use like 150 days just to make sure I have enough days loaded because I want the calculations to be correct. So click on order settings and then we're going to come up here to signals. So we need a trend condition. Since we're not going to use a bloodhound logic, we'll use an indicator based signal. This is only to give us like that trend condition. So I'm just going to select a Keltner channel, something simple. Y'all can put whatever you want for a trend condition. I'll just start with like a 50 period 1.25 midline, midband. So that means that if it's above or below this 50 period 1.25 Keltner channel, it would enable an entry signal. I also want to change it to the RTH session. So I'm going to go down here and select the CME group futures RTH because that puts it at 8:30 to 4, which is the central time zone, what I like. If you're in California, change it. If you're in Europe, change it so that it's reflecting the time that the RTH session opens in your time zone. Then I'm going to also restrict it to a max number of 5 trades, and I'm going to restrict it to 3 consecutive wins. So if it hits the 1, 2, 3, that's what I want. So to allow it an extra, in case it did not make it the first time or two. And then for my order sets, I'm going to come in here and put a market entry order. And I'm going to add a profit target, custom. And when I click on it, I'm going to, go in here and change it from price to indicator value. Click the indicator. Click the JATS indicators and go to the PT3. We're going to need to make some adjustments to this. So the first thing we're going to do is say no to use fibs and say yes to use higher time frame, or excuse me, pardon me, time range. The last one, time range. We're doing an opening range. So 8:30 to 8:45, and we're going to change it to calculate on the open. And so we're going to go long at the PT1 and short at the PT2. Okay? And for a stop loss, do custom, and I'm just going to use 34% of that 15-minute opening range. So this time I can keep it as OCO entry price and go down to this indicator value like it would be for putting an ATR in here, but we'll use the JATS indicator, JATS PT2 oscillator. Again, go and change it to time range, 8:30 to 8:45, calculate on the open, and then come in here and make it minus 0.34. That's 34% of that 15-minute range. So we're going to come in here and copy order set A, and we can name this, go back here, PT1. I like to change these to white because it's hard for me to see that blue. And PT2, so this would be 8:30, 8:45, PT2. And we can name this profit target. And name this stop loss so that we can see what it is. And that naming was important. I'll show you why. So this is why, because we're going to, when we go into the order set up here, the market entry, we're going to use this place after, and this order status changed right there, and then we'll click on that, and now you can see that you've got the PT1 PT profit target in order set A. So if the PT1 profit target was filled, this would allow this second order to be triggered. And this second order is going to go to the PT2. So all we have to do is change this to PT2, like that. And then type in here PT2 profit target. And just name this PT2 stop loss. We don't have to make any changes. Okay. And I'm going to make this white. There we go. And then order set C, I'm going to copy from B. And we'll just name this PT3. And rename this PT3. And then we need to come in here and change this from 2 to 3. Like so. And change this to PT3. Okay. Now, for this, we need to go back into this top part in order set B, and you see this cancel after. If this order set A stop loss gets filled instead of the profit target, we want to cancel this order. So go to the Advanced tab, add order status changed, and then we go to A PT2 stop loss, right there, PT1 stop loss, order set A, the stop loss. So if that gets triggered, it will cancel this order set, not leave it sitting in there in the queue. And for this order set C, we're going to cancel it if order set A or B stop losses get filled. So we're going to add order status changed. We're going to go to A stop loss and then add order status change, and we'll go to B stop loss. So if those stop loss orders get filled, this will get canceled. It won't be sitting there waiting to execute. It actually wouldn't execute unless that PT2 profit target was filled, but I just want to be sure to crush it, make sure it cancels. So what we've done is create an RTH template trading to the PT 1, 2, and 3 of that 15-minute range at the RTH open, as long as the price is within this Keltner channel. Pretty basic, right? So it's just, hit the side of a barn. So we want to save as, and I'm just going to name this JATS PT1 RTH Open V3, since this is just all Blackbird. Save and close. If you want to add, change your own Bloodhound logic to add trend conditions and all that, please do. This is not really meant to be an algo. I'm just trying to show you different ways that you can create a Blackbird template trading to the PT levels 1, 2, 3. So I right clicked and now I see my dashboard is gone. Give me 1 second. Let me see what happened. Okay, there it is. It just took a second. I've got the video player going, so it sort of scrambled up. So let me put the data series on so I can see if I got any. Yep. So very good. We've got orders, right? 1, 2, 3. And let's see what the performance is. So we did this without Bloodhound logic. This is just all. And it's not giving me short trades. So using the indicator was only giving me long trades. So I may want to just go back in and figure out why I'm not getting short trades. I'm only getting long trades. Or I can just scratch this and build a template real quick. So let's just do that. My little excursion of putting an indicator-based signal did not work. So let's just go in and create a Bloodhound template real quick. So we want to add a comparison solver. We're keeping this really simple. So we're going to use the close to that Keltner channel. And again, this is not meant to be an algo. It's meant for you to design your own trend filter. Let me save it. Okay. That's 1.25. I can't type. All right. I think I just named it 2.52. All right, so what we want to do is go back and add a logic node and call it entry. Okay. Well, I'm not sure why this is not bringing that in. Hang on a second. I need to rename this anyway. I named it wrong. Okay, there we go. And now we can try back testing one more time. So let me do that real quick. So I'm going to reload NinjaScript, say yes. Okay, so here you can see that we were above the Keltner channel and we made it to the targets. And let's see now what my performance was. That improved it. Yes, I got two different trades now. It didn't improve the performance, but I actually got short trades. So you can see that just with a Keltner channel with nothing else, just, it's not a good trend condition. I would not, of course, trade this by itself like this. You can add other trend conditions and perhaps improve this and or you know set it outside um, to a 30-minute range. In fact, why don't we just save one for a 30-minute range now? So we can do save as, and let's do a 30-minute range. And come in and fix these up. To 9. So it's just a matter of changing the time frame on each of these solvers to 9 a.m. Just takes a second. Okay. And a reason that the strategy didn't do very well for those shorts is because I'm using a very close stop loss of 34%. And a downtrend needs more room, more wiggle room than that. So when you play around with this, you might want to have a strategy for longs and then another strategy for shorts, because shorts need more wiggle room, or just move your stop loss to 0.50. instead of 0.34. Okay, so we'll do this 30-minute PT3, and these are all changed. So we'll say save and close, and we'll rerun it. Okay, so you can see that the target went higher, target reached. So if we want to extend our distribution out to the 9 a.m., then we'll see that higher line. Right there. So let's take a look at the results. And this was using a 0.50 on that A. Gave it more wiggle room. And so you can see that when you go to a 30-minute range, you get more profit, right? Because you've got a bigger range. So the profit target was better, the profit target, and the percent profitability is still pretty good, pretty decent. So just trading to these 1, 2, 3 in the morning might get you a new car, or a plan for a trip, just run an algo doing this. And then, of course, you want to be able to do this on different instruments. So you might try also doing it on the ES and the NQ together. I'm going to go back to that 15-minute range and change it to a 0.5 on that first order set to give it a little bit more wiggle room. So I'm going to open that 15-minute 1, 2, 3. It says 15-minute PT1 instead of 1, 2, 3. So let me resave it so it's matching. The other one. So I'm not sure why Brian was getting that error message. It might have been something to do with my other code. So all we want to do is change this to a 0.5. And 0.68 even would be your first standard deviation if you think that you're in higher volatility. If you're going to be opening in front of or right after a big event, like you had a big GDP or PPI report or something like that, you can widen the range for that one session. You don't have to be married to any, boilerplate volatility. In fact, I recommend that you think a lot about the volatility, whether you're in low, medium, or high volatility, and adjust that first order out accordingly, and especially the second order if you're in medium or high volatility. You want to bring that second order out too. By the time you get to the third order, it should be like in a trending state, so you may or may not want to move that third one. But you see here how it got to the second PT2 and then came all the way back before going up. So, fortunately, the 0.34 was okay. We're sort of in low volatility right now, though. But that will happen. You'll see it even coming back to the open a lot of the time before it gets back up to the other profit targets. So give this one more second. I apologize, my CPU is running a little bit slow right now, especially when I record these videos and I have Skype or this recorder on. I am going to upgrade my computer in the near future. Give this a second and the Blackbird will come back up. Here we go. And so we were just verifying the performance of changing that first order from a 0.34 to a 0.5. Yeah, it got a little bit better improvement. Not a whole lot, but a little bit better. It did make it a little bit better. So the first one was 37,952, and by giving it a little bit more wiggle room on that first order, it improved it a little bit, including the percent profitability. So by, doing the exercise of giving yourself a little bit more cushion, um, you become more successful. People think that they need to choke the stop, choke the trade off, and you're just choking your trades instead of you're choking your profits instead of the trade. But it's that fine balance of how much, and that's really indicative of where the volatility is. Is it low, medium, or high? And that has a lot to do with whether you want to set it on, 50.50 or 0.68 or even one. Use your full range. But all right, guys. So that's how to do it in Blackbird. If you have any questions, so definitely, do use the bloodhound logic. Come up with your own logic. You probably want to do something more than just a Keltner channel. I'm just trying to get, a open lane to get there without it rolling over. Is why I picked that, but you could certainly pick some other trend condition. And you don't want to give it a whole lot of time to reach, especially if you're going to like um, 15-minute, or excuse me, a 15-minute or 30-minute range. If you're going to go to a 60-minute range, you may want to give it longer than an hour. You may want to give it an hour and a half or even 2 hours. Sometimes it'll get hung up on this PT1 for that 60-minute range, and it takes a while for the algos to break it, to get outside of it, if that even happens. A lot of the time on that 60-minute PT1, it will block it. And let me show you what that looks like. So let me put this on a 60-minute range. Well, my CPU is just dragging. I bet I got some malware. I gotta fix that. I gotta do a malware test. Alright, so you can see that we didn't have any trouble getting over the 50-minute one or 60-minute one today, but other days it can sit on that 60-minute one and never make it through, like right here. You see what I'm saying? And especially the ES, it'll you can see how this bottom 60-minute one was the resistance. So it can be support resistance. Um, but most traders use this 60 minute. And so this is a very, very good distribution to use day trading. And especially if it's stuck on the one, like right here, and can't get through. They were trying to break it and finally gave up and rolled over. So that's what I'm trying to warn you about. So we would have had a stop out trying to get to 2 here. It would have triggered a trade here. Close above the line. So you can configure this better than I'm showing you and probably improve your performance. But having a little algo just reaching a few trades in the morning, very limited, hit the target or don't, I'm showing you that it is a um, positive expectancy. So, especially for these short-term time frames, going to the 15-minute, 30-minute, 60-minute. In fact, you might even, try testing all three. Trade to the 15, trade to the 30, trade to the 60, and see if that bumps up, that new car from a Mustang to a Bugatti. That would be nice. Pick out your colors, right? All right, kiddos. We'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much.